Hello and welcome you once again in this new session of English literature. And today's poem is a poem written by George Bernard Shaw, his childhood imagination. The poem name is Imagination. When he was young, he has lots of imagination. He sometimes becomes pirates, or sometimes as a cowboy, sometimes he became an adventurous boy. So what all he has mentioned here in this poem, the first imagination was that he used to play as a pirate, where he used to sail the seven seas. The poem's imagination by George Bernard Shaw, he reminds his boyhood days when he used to play with different games. Like sometimes he used to act as a pirate, and sometimes he became as a cowboy. I had arrived imaginations, adventurous was always on my mind. I discovered the joy of reading and escape daily grind. Once I lived with Eskimos. Sometimes he used to go to the Eskimos. See, these are the Eskimos. So sometimes he used to imagine that he is an Eskimo in the land of ice and the snow. Eskimos lived in a snow. And sometimes he used to become the Jules Verne. Jules Verne was a very great adventurous writer. He wrote stories like around the world in 80 days. So sometimes he used to become an adventurous like Jules Verne. Sometimes he used to went to the forest of Africa, where Dr. Livingstone used to guide him. So it was the imagination of George Bernard Shaw. In this poem, he described himself. He used to play different games. Sometimes he used to acting as a pirates, or pirates means sea dacoits. Sometimes he used to become the cowboys, and then he used to read some adventurous books of Jules Verne, which help him to forget the daily burdens. He recalls his fantasy. He could be translated in his exploring the poles. Sometimes he used to went to the poles, and sometimes he used to living with the Eskimos. He sometimes read the Jules Verne's science fiction books. He took him to the moon, and sometimes he used to think that he is with Dr. Livingstone, who will guide him during the trip to the Africa and then to the America, when he hides with the Huckleberry Finn. And his childhood he used to make it fantasy and imagination, and that give him a chance to be the hero of all the nations. So it was the imagination of a child. George Bernard Shaw himself put himself in that childhood fantasy, that every child, they have lots of imaginations. Whatever they used to see, they think that I am going to do that. He saw the stories of the pirate. He read the stories of the sea pirates. He thought that I am the pirates of the sea. When he used to watch he used to read the stories of the cowboys, he thought that I am a cowboy. When he used to read the adventurous book, so he thought that I am in a pole, North Pole, South Pole, or he used to live like a Eskimos. Whenever he used to read the books of Jules Verne, he just think that he is in the moon. He is thinking of the science fiction. And whenever he went to the Africa, he used to think that Dr. Livingstone, he is guiding to him. He went to the America with Huckleberry Finn. So all this was the fantasy of childhood. of George Bernard Shaw. So every person, everyone, you all have some imaginations. Every time you are making that imaginations, and that what poet want to say in this poem. Every child has his own imaginations, the thinking beyond what he is. So that's all for today's session. Read this chapter very carefully. Follow this video very carefully. We will meet once again in our next session with new chapter. Till then, have a nice day and take care of your health.